So if you're like me, all right, you're watching Fox News. It's an active shooter situation. Ohio University, or you San Bernardino, maybe you're there and you're watching the show from there. You're watching them cover the news from there, or the police shooting in Dallas or in New Orleans. And there's a guy telling you all about what's going on, has all the inside scoop into police work and what's happening in the mind of the person doing the shooting. And you're thinking, who is this guy? He's fantastic. He's Rod Wheeler, and he's right here. I feel like I'm with a celebrity. I know you take your job very seriously.
That's right.
But you do a really good job breaking the story down, letting us know what's happened. But you know what? In the meantime, my audience says, okay, I've seen him, I've watched him. How does it help me ultimately in dealing with a situation like this? What does he tell people on a university campus or in an office or somewhere where there's an active shooter? What's your first thing you tell them?
Well, first of all, I'll tell you, most of the stories, if not all of the stories that I talk about, are all horrific situations. It's involving an active shooter or some major catastrophic situation that's going on. So every time I'm on the air, I'm always thinking about how am I going to explain it to the viewers so that they understand? And most of the viewers, they just want it to be real life. They want to know exactly what's going on. They want to cut the chase, and that's exactly what I do, and that's what I set out to do. And it's been pretty successful.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And sometimes people will seek your counsel on these matters, like
Absolutely.
what to do and how to be more safe. So if you're telling me, Jamie Ullman, or somebody out there watching the show, how do I most protect myself in situations and prevent from being caught up in these situations, what do you tell them?
Right, excellent question. And I'm asked that question quite often, actually, Jamie. And here's the short answer for that, right? The one thing you want to do is you want to always anticipate things that can go wrong. You want to have a plan in place. No, don't wait until the plane crashed to decide, well, let's come up with the plan. That's not the time to come up with the plan. Come up with the plan early, no matter where you are, whether you're at a school, whether you're at church, whether you're at a shopping mall, especially during this time of the year. We know we have these types of situations that occur. So if you come up with a plan, start thinking to yourself, what would I do if somebody decides to come in here and start shooting off rounds or something like that? How am I going to protect my family? How do I communicate with my family? How do I get the word out to people that I'm safe and that I've survived this situation? These are the kind of things that you have to start thinking about now. Again, the message here is don't wait until the situation happens till you decide what you're going to do about it.
So let's say I am at a shopping mall and I'm with my family, and obviously I want to go shopping. I'm in a good mood. I'm out there for the holidays, everything else.
Right.
But you still have to think about that. So what is the first thing you think about when you walk into a shopping mall?
Well, you want to be aware of your surroundings at all times. And that's not to say to walk through the mall, naively, or walking through the mall like, you're afraid or anything like that. You want to have a good time. You want to enjoy the season. But at the same time, you don't want to walk through the mall blindly. You want to be aware of people that surround you. If you see somebody that's kind of acting strange or aimlessly walking around the mall, they just doesn't appear to be fitting in with everybody else, you want to be aware of that, and you want to bring that to somebody's attention. These are simple things that people can do each and every day. Even when you get out of your car, and that's the time that you really need to be the most aware. When you get out of your car, when you park your car in the areas where you got to park, the parking lots, you want to be aware of people that's standing around just kind of watching you. Maybe somebody sitting inside of a vehicle just kind of watching you. Bring that to security's attention.
We had a situation involving the governor's wife, the governor-elect's wife, last week. It was in the Central West End here, and she was robbed at gunpoint. And she had just gotten into a car and just took a beat for a second to sit in the car for a second. And most people have said, hey, be careful when you get into a car. You want to know that even if you're going to text somebody or give somebody a quick call before you take off to your next destination, to make sure that nobody's, because that's what people wait for. You're in the mind of the perpetrator at this point.
Exactly, and I can tell you that perpetrator, he or she, they're looking for innocent victims. They're looking for people that are not aware of their surroundings. And those are the people that they're going to prey after. And so that's why it's so important that when you're out there at the shopping mall, if you're at church, or no matter where you are, you're aware of your surroundings. That's so important and so key. So when you walk into your car, if you see somebody just kind of standing around and watching you, don't walk to your car, walk back inside the mall. Think places like that.
So I guess when it comes to protecting ourselves, obviously we rely on the police. Even when it comes to terrorism, we rely on the anti-terrorism guys. But ultimately, what's going to have to happen is we have to kind of take matters into our own hands in terms of protecting ourselves.
You do. You're exactly right. I mean, the police is there, and I got to tell you, the police in this country do a tremendous job.
Sure.
They really do. But at the same time, we can't be everywhere at all times. So we have to rely on citizens to protect themselves to some kind of a degree, and or bring the situation to the police attention.
Now, you do a longer view, which is, of course, when it comes, like I hear people talking about saving food in the event of some catastrophic event or a power grid failure. I mean, you talk about that stuff too, right?
Right. I talk about all kinds of things that can affect us or that can harm us, whether it's from some, idiot in the community that wants to do something crazy, or whether it's some terrorist group, or whether it's somebody like Omar Mateen or the Sarnea brothers, these kind of folks that set out to do one thing, and that's to harm Americans. So what I try to do is teach people things that they can do, ways that they can protect themselves, just to be aware. And awareness, believe it or not, Jamie, awareness is key with all of these things.
Right.
If you're aware and you're not naive and you don't see the forest for the trees, then you're going to be a victim.
Right. Well, right now you're a crime scene movie star, right, on Fox News. What did you do before this?
Well, I was with the D.C. Police Department in Washington, D.C. in homicide, as a matter of fact. I investigated deaths and homicides throughout the 90s. So I did that for a long time. And then I've also worked for the Attorney General in the state of Ohio as a crime scene investigator for several years.
Well, I'll tell you, I mean, you're great on the air. And as you pointed out earlier, when you try to put people there and also explain things so it's not so complicated for people to understand what's going on, you do a great job. It's a real privilege to have you on the show.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you for the invitation.
Good to see you. Welcome to St. Louis.
Thank you very much.
Wheeler. All right.